Okie dokie. Welcome to game 62 of the Hi5 series. As I am at this moment uploading my commentary, the final table of event number 12. Yeah, I'm a little bit backlogged, but that's okay. I'm backlogged and a little bit scatterbrained because it's time for the Masters. So if you like golf, this is going to be the video for you because I'm going to be updating you as we go along. I've got the TV a little quieter than usual, but I do have it on. With Brooks Koepka off to an incredible start, 65 yesterday and already 3 under par through 8 holes today, to 10 under par. And of course, we have amateur Sam Bennett, no bogeys through 20 holes. He's 5 under par. Jason Day having a return to form. He's at 7 under par. And then me, or rather, I have just spent $1.10, which is basically nothing, to play this poker tournament. And boy, I thought the last one had excessive late reg with 16 levels. This one has 20 levels of late reg. Same structure and everything. It's 15 minutes per level. Like, guys, seven levels of late reg is all there ever should be. 20 is way too many levels of late reg. However, I'm American, and I'm not from Nevada, New Jersey, or, what's the other one? Pennsylvania? Well, Michigan's also getting on board as well. But, like, point is, I'm not from one of those states that actually allows major poker websites. So this is the best I got. I don't have to play this hand, but let's just see what happens. It's really early. 329 minutes. Holy crap, man. Oh, that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna completely airball this. This guy can just take it. And nothing. I'm not even remotely blocking anything. All right, anyway, for Eric, Belarus. I live more, Russia. Magnate Capo, Argentina. Vilivonka, Russia. I guess I should have seen that coming. Tripaponum, United States. Killer Whale, Kazakhstan. Oh, trip up on him. That's what that says. I was wondering what language that was, and I saw it was United States. Like, wait, it's English? Or suited on my 3-bet. I don't mind having a slow start. It's a really small bet, too, so something tells me he wants action. Oh, okay. We've already replaced one of our guys. Wadi Wadi 888 from North Macedonia. Now the ACR interface still says Macedonia Republic of, but they have changed their name to North Macedonia. What's going on at this table? As you can see, we have over 100 players who actually showed up on time. We can expect maybe 1,000 more over the course of the tournament. So really only about 10% of the people on America's Cardroom actually play the tournament on time. 20 levels. 20 levels! I honestly should have late read this one, at least maybe a couple levels in. What the hell is happening here? Well, this guy's not here to play poker, obviously. Billy Vonka's actually tanking. I don't know why. Unless he has aces, it's just never worth it. Well, this guy is not here to play poker. What a shame, because everybody else is. I can't really be too upset if I do, in fact, go broke early, because at least that gives me the rest of the day to watch golf. Tana from Russia, welcome. I mean, I was wondering if I would. Why do I always have these gut feelings that turn out to be correct? I was wondering if somebody at my table would immediately be going all in just because this is only a $1 game. Nobody did that at the $6 game. Well, $6.60 is 110. You know, $6 going into the actual prize pool, 60 cents for the rake. You get the idea. Nobody was doing any of that crap in the more expensive one. Well, judging by that average stack going up, we have already had a couple of knockouts, so Magnet Capo is not the only complete lunatic. Oh dear. I probably shouldn't call this. Considering Tane is also in the hand. I have top pair, top kicker, though. This is definitely a good time to donk bet. Because it's maybe the one time in the hand I actually have the lead. Okay, what he's telling me is he's got a pair of jacks or higher. I have a chance to improve, though. And that completely whiffed everything. Yeah, he's going to put me all in on the river. I don't think my hand is strong enough. He's telling me he's got an overpair. Or maybe a set. That's about as many chips as you will ever see me lose on the first level of gameplay, unless there's somebody at the table who's... Yeah, that. Snapping it off with ace-9 offsuit. Okay. Zashibi 1Z, Belarus, welcome. Cuervo Blanco, Russia. White Cave. Oh, wait, no. Cuervo is cave. I notice a lot of these Russian players enjoy like using different languages. Sometimes they'll name themselves something that sounds, Russian. Sometimes they'll go into the Spanish. Sometimes they'll reach for like French or Italian. Ooh, ace off. Get rid of here. Whereas if I bust out really, really fast, I'm just not going to bother putting it on YouTube. Which is for the better, considering I haven't even finished uploading some of my earlier videos. I just realized the first break's already here. Because we started at 10:45 and the breaks are always at 55. I'm off to a terrible start, but let's see if I can turn it around next time. As I promised, by the way, notice that my hair is shorter, and I have a little ahoge going at the top. It's about as much of an ahoge as you'll see on a real, not cartoon person. Still have my facial hair, but that's going soon. But that's just part of my promise. Oh, good new player. Doberman R. I bet that R stands for Russia. Stands for Ukraine, actually. Alrighty, so let's see if I can recover. If Vilivanka bluffed me on that one big hand, that's a pretty impressive bluff. Because he was sending a very clear message based on the fact that he 3-bet pre-flop and kept raising me post-flop. He was clearly not scared at that flop. I flopped real good, but he probably didn't even need it. He might have also had, 3 sixes. In which case, I'm in a really bad shape. I'm not playing King 4. What is the cutoff for what's worthy of porting to YouTube exactly? It'd be like an hour. Or like whenever the second break is, I guess. So I'm definitely planning on taking a bit of a back seat from playing poker for a while. I really ought to get back into just pure like Twitch content creation and learning Spanish. There's really no reason for me not to. Well, no bogeys for Sam Bennett. Holland Morikawa, 5 under par. My guy Jordan Spieth, well, one of my 4 fantasy guys. Jordan Spieth, 4 under par. Tony Finau is my favorite player. He's 4 under par as well, but he's not on my fantasy team. My fantasy team is Xander Schauffele, Jordan Spieth, Tommy Fleetwood, and Corey Connors. Fleetwood, I believe, is now 1 under. And Connors, I think, is 1 over now. Remember Brooks Koepka's at 10 under, so I was considering putting him on my fantasy team, but that's a bit of a regret. Hey, it's Raymond Floyd. This is more evidence towards maybe I should have actually late raced a couple of levels. Maybe there's a sweet spot to late raging in these tournaments where I still have plenty of play, but we're past all of the pre-flop lunatics, or at least most of the pre-flop lunatics, and any potential early coolers. Of course, it'll be a whole new batch of pre-flop lunatics when there's inevitably a rush of 200 people late regging with less than 20 big blinds. But hopefully by then you'll actually have been at the table, you would have acquired a decent sized stack, and you can afford to take on a couple of them. Never should be allowed. It's just purely ridiculous how late they let you enter a tournament here. I'm actually kind of tempted to see how it would work. Of course, I'll do a really small tournament like this one with just $1.10. But like, what if I really do late red super duper late and actually turn out to win? I won't even record myself because like I'll just be expecting to bust out in 5 minutes because if you late reg that late, you should bust out in 5 minutes. Maybe the robots favor them. Maybe that's the code. Maybe that's why I can't get past late reg. Except I followed a couple of players who were there from the beginning in that last $6.60 game, and they did eventually do well. Usain Fold min cashed, and then Dr. Puertoro, who had so many chips for so long, ended up finishing 40th. For $25.07. Which, for a $6.60 buy-in, is pretty good. 4 times their money back. Wow, same guy 3-bet me. I'm under the gun again. Second time I've raised under the gun and gotten 3-bet by Willy Wonka. And again, I have too much to fold. And again, I hit the flop. Well, donk betting didn't work out so well last time, so let's check. Let Willy bet and then snap him off. I'm playing pot control, but I'm not planning on going anywhere. Eh? I'm still planning on pot control. If I bet a small amount now, it's going to look way too fishy. There we go. There we go. Revenge. That is what's called adjusting. And now it's my turn to 3-bet him, because I've got ace-queen. Make it 1675 unless somebody else wants to do something. Well, he had ace-jack, which is a very reasonable hand to 3-bet me with. Now it's my turn to act accordingly. Although, of course, I airballed that flop real hard. There's not a lot of draws out there, so that call tells me he's got something. Right, he wins this round. Let's take a break from Willy Wonka here. Is Sports Center at the Masters start again? I know they're adjusting the schedule because of the bad weather coming their way. Oh, Sports Center's already at the Masters. This day's still 7 under par. Finau made a bogey. Oh, that's the sign of a new table. Joaquin Neiman, 2 under par. Dustin Johnson, 2 under. I was coin flipping between him and Jordan Spieth to add to my fantasy team. So far, Spieth is ahead of him. Bat Masil, United States. Kriella, Russia. Trust me, I got nothing. United States, who couldn't see that coming? Oh, that's not bad. It's just, it sounds pretty American. Dastix, Russia. PBF Day, United States. Day W, Russia. saying day W, it makes me think of Arthur. La Pora, probably Russia. Nope, Argentina. Oh wow, the Seattle Kraken have their first playoff berth. What is it with these hockey expansion teams just being really good right out of the gate? They worked for the Las Vegas Golden Knights just a few years ago as well. I mean, I guess that's what happens when your sport scores so few points. Football expansion teams are always terrible for the first 4 or 5 years. Actually, not always. The Jaguars did really well, really quickly. Didn't the Panthers do really well in like their third year of existence as well? So it can happen. Third of the pot. Kevin Durant and Chris Paul are with the Suns now. I don't follow basketball all that much. Last time I checked on Durant, he was with, I think, the Nets. And then before that, he was with the Warriors. And then before that was, what was it, the Thunder or the Nuggets? I think it was the Thunder. I apologize for my lack of commentary between hands in the last one, but I'm gonna make even less commentary in this one because I'm watching the Masters. Some neighborhood lawnmowers. Another thing to grab my attention away from poker. The question is, will I actually be better at poker with me not giving my 100% attention to it? It's okay to be dealt crappy hands early on. starting to talk about other sports now. I guess my first clue should have been when they started updating me about the Phoenix Suns and the Seattle Kraken. I'm here for the Masters, so still not getting many cards here. But again, not really much to complain about because these are really early levels. And as you can see, still have 123 big blinds. This would have been a good spot for me to just late reg into because I still have plenty, obviously. Nice sunshine. Oh, oh, give me 2 pair, and then it would have been counterfeit, and then Ace 2 could have beaten me, and actually, well, I would have been shopping with a jack and anything else. Actually, I still would have won the hand. Well, pair of threes. It's not much, but it's good compared to what I've been getting dealt. I don't trust that limp, though. I don't trust that UTG limp. That's a little suspicious. If I'd known that it would only cost me 800 to see the flop, then I would have gone for it. So got like 8-7 of spades. Ooh. Well, he was slow playing. I'm getting up a little bit better now, but again, under the gun raise. It just tilts me whenever I see a like mini golf themed commercial and somebody just breaks out a sand wedge. Anytime you hit the ball with a sand wedge, you are completely defeating the purpose of mini golf. Though many times I have just like thought to myself about how funny it would be if I just brought a sandwich to a mini golf course and see how much I could cheese some of the holes. Of course, they make the balls in most mini golf places out of a different material. Like it's not as hard as like an actual golf ball. So I don't know how it would react to a sand wedge hitting it. Of course, the putters are also soft to accommodate that as well. So it has slightly different feel. When was the last time I went mini golfing exactly? I owed myself to at least try that out again. I remember the last time the well, the last time I very definitively remember playing, I like my tee shots were consistently very good. I just couldn't make a shortcut to save my life, even though of course there's no break on mini golf courses. There's no slope. Well, sometimes there is, but like near the hole, there's no slopes. You don't have to read anything. Oh, Sam Bennett finally made his first bogey. I have Kongs. Nobody wants to play with me. Thank you. I'm going to vastly underrepresent my hand and flop a freaking ace because, of course. Not going anywhere yet. There we go. I'm playing this hand so freaking weird. Oh, man. I don't know what I was doing in that hand, to be honest with you. I guess Day W is just messing around with some very small cards the whole way. It hurts my soul that there's 3 out of the top 15 who are already in for 2 bullets. Yeah. Oh wow, some of them were dead in the middle of the fairway and still made bogey. And that Spieth shot was really silly. Let me down. With that one shot, he let me down. I could have had a really nice fantasy score if not for that. That's close to a decent hand. At full table, it's not much. If we were playing a 6 max, I might play it. Tempted to play it anyway, but eh. Much quieter table. So because it's such a quiet table, I could just start playing more aggressively. Again, this guy's limping in. It's a super coordinated board. You know what? I'm not going to try it. Against 2 players, they're going to have some part of this board. There's no way they both airballed it. Interesting. I might have the best hand. I might have the best hand. I'll go ahead and let it go, though. Alright, so if I want to be the aggressor, I gotta be raising a spots like this. Normally maybe I wouldn't, but I think this is a table that is on the conservative side. Of course, I'd like to keep it within reason, and that looks like a pretty strong play. All right. If he can re-raise me from my under the gun raise and make it small, like he wants action. That raise size tells me he wants some action. I don't want to give it to him. Now with Jack 10, he's definitely got a good hand there. Actually, I have just enough to make this call. I mean, I can't just donk bet. I'll never believe it. I could try now. He's probably got like Jack 8 or something. Please fold. Good call. Ah. He called with the ace high on the turn. It was good. It was good. He's got a read on me. Or at least I had a really good gut feeling. Give me a minute here. This is the same guy who likes to limp in, who's been limping in almost the whole time, and he just decided to shove 55,000 over a 1,000 raise. I think he might have me dominated. I'm folding the ace-king suited. Like, does that make any sense whatsoever from a poker standpoint? Should anybody be making that big of an overraise with aces or kings? Hell no. But I've played with players like this before on Replay Poker and some of the free rolls on this place. And this type of player is the kind of person who just says, if I got aces or kings, screw playing post flop. I got the best 10 now. I'm just going to shove it in. I don't care. I've played with that type of player before, and I genuinely do not think my ace king was ahead. So I'm out of here. Ooh, Spieth with 2 birdies today. All right. Eddie Las Vegas, who is not from Las Vegas. He's from Russia. That's a bit more reasonable. There's already 6,400 dead money out there. Ooh. 6. Of course they're going to give this guy the winner. Calling it off with 2 6s. Maybe I was wrong to fold my ace-king. JJ Fire 12, United States, welcome. Mikhail 777, Russia, of course, welcome. It's a very Russian name. Rafa Rondino. Oh, United States. Yeah, the thing is, when people start playing like Dave over here, and you remember that you're playing at the $1 level, you start realizing there's probably a reason why he's playing at the $1 level. Not really a raising hand, but let's see what happens. Every time I raise under the gun, the guy across the table from me wants to play. At least this time it's only a call. This time I flopped a little something. I hope I'm not doing the thing where I'm representing exactly what he's got, which would be a flush. He wins. He wins. Nothing really changed on that rare card. So I got the ace four, very next hand too. Not suited this time. Reasonable raise. Hoping somebody will come over the top so I don't have to play this. Alright, if it's one-on-one. Alright. Let's do the same thing I did with Queen Jack that one hand. Just exercise pot control the whole way through. With no plans on actually going anywhere. Oh. Oh. Well, plan changes a little bit here. But I'm going to go for a check raise. Question is, if I'm about to get completely coolered here, do I still upload this video just so everybody can get a look at my new haircut? I think the answer is yes. What could you possibly hit on that river? I mean, I call. I got two pair. There we go! Big pot! Ace-10 was the only hand I was worried about. That's an interesting card to say the least. All in! This worth it. He's either completely bluffing or I'm drawing dead. That's the thing. This is for half my stack. You know what? I'm gonna assume he's bluffing. Boom! Oh, this guy again. This is a raising hand, but I just don't trust this guy. I hit the flop again. However, given how insane this guy's willing to play, I'm not gonna blow up this pot if I can help it. X numbers from Russia. Welcome. I'm so gonna regret betting this. Nope. Cool. How about that? Three hands in a row. Now we know from the last one how much I can actually start celebrating here, which is not at all. Oh, and a new table. Pat Letterer. I mean, yeah, Howard Letterer is overweight, but still. That's the best you can say about him. I hit a little something here, but not really enough to bet. Now I got enough to bet. $11 under par for Brooks Koepka. No bogeys today. Really running good again. So, let's see. Ipkiss 027, Russia. Muscleman, Russia. Chicky Bamboni, Russia. Yeah, it looks like Bat Masil and I are the only non-Russians here. Like, I was barely even... You see how many hands in a row I was folding, and now all of a sudden I've got 100,000? I mean, if they're gonna give you nice long blind levels like this, that's that's what you gotta do. Just be willing to fold a lot, because sometimes they'll give you some really good cards. And I have respect for Bat Masil here, so I'm not going to go crazy. But I'm going to fold this. Gigi Odoi, Brazil. Alien at our table, of course. Sahith Tigala. Forgot he was playing. He's 1 over par. He's off in 20 minutes. 4-bet all in. Whoa. There is a lot of dead money out there, but that is a pretty big overshove. Rip. Well, it's jacks. I mean, I guess I can understand that. Those are really hard to play post flop. Kale needs a 10. Nope. Jack queen again. Just call. Done. It's another flop that I can assume that against two people they're gonna have some piece of it, and I have nothing. At a donk bet, they're presumably like ace 8 or something, ace 9. But that's better than what I got. Clock R A. Gotcha. Actually, it's probably clock R A because it's shark. Ah. Now I have ace 9. Who couldn't see that coming? 1275. Go. And I just got re-raised immediately. And I don't remember this guy splashing around too much. I'll give him some respect. Also, ace 9 is not that good. So he has it. Well, nope. If everybody else folds, I'm actually going to play this Queen 7 offsuit. But if anybody else plays, I'm out. Alright. Would have airballed. Save myself 550. What? Hey, Exquisa from Kazakhstan. I remember them. Oh, this is a new table. Except Bat Massel is following me everywhere. I would say it's the beginning of a beautiful friendship, but you can't talk to people on this website. Alright, Sergejus. Oh, Draco 24, Russia. Sergejus, Lithuania. Lucky Federico, Ukraine. Exquisa from Kazakhstan. Primor, Ukraine. Ales 33, Russia. And of course, Bat Massel, United States. And me, United States. Again, they are from a part of the world that really should be. Everybody else is in a part of the world that should be in bed right now. Maybe not Lithuania. Like Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Russia. Wait, actually, that's. I keep forgetting that I'm in Ohio now, not California. It's actually not too horribly late over there. Like, Great Britain's only 5 hours away, and then. Which would be just before 5 p.m. right now. And then Eastern Europe would only be 2 or 3 hours away from that, so it's only 7 or 8 p.m. for like Lithuania and Ukraine and Western Russia. Kazakhstan, on the other hand, Exquisite needs to go to bed. And the thing is, if they expect to really be running deep in this tournament, like, this is going to take an awfully long time, so they're going to be awfully tired by the end of it. Unless, of course, they just don't sleep. If I have anyone from Russia who watches my videos who speaks English, who plays on America's Cardroom, out of curiosity, um, when do you sleep? Because if you're playing at the same time as me, I'm a little bit worried about your sleeping patterns. Like, you can't live unless you sleep. Oh boy, big pot, big pot. Yeah, it's the break, so I'm ready to press the stop button, or the pause button. Big bet. All in! And a snap fold. Well done, Kramer. Okay, time for me to refill my water. A little game here. Not making too many moves. Oh. Really? Well, I guess I'll watch a 30-second ad and just let it play out while the game restarts. Okay. Oh no, it's just Alice 33. We've already seen them. But they're smart. They're pressing the sitting out button while they're actually away. It is always a good thing when you don't actually have to play all that many hands. I'm not quite on the same level of cruise control as I was in the 660 tournament. But, you know, it's all good. I was able to pick off one overly aggressive player and have a nice flop against another one. 162 big blinds. He... Evan under for Brooks Koepka. Rory McIlroy is not going to win the Masters. He is 3 over right now. Halfway through day 2. He's maybe lucky to make the cut at this point. A limp. I just realized the other thing you have to like adjust when you play at the $1.10 level versus 660 is there's a little more limping going on at this level as well. There's more limping and more lunatics. I can't think of a reason to try and win this pot. Colin Morikawa, 6 under par. Spieth made a bogey. Straka. 3 under par. Patty Scheffler's 3 under. Justin Rose, 4 under par. Keep forgetting about him. Hey, if you want to keep on limping, I'm okay with that. With my suspect hand. Phil Mickelson's 1 under par today. Ooh, 3 10s. Or try check raise. I can't go broke on this end. That's what I was hoping for. Well, that might be a little too much. Not the greatest card. How the hell can I fold this? Leading 14,000 to 56,000. Oh, he was playing me like a fool the whole dang time. Very nicely played. Oh, it's a 3-bet. Okay, yeah, out of here. Wow, that flop's almost identical to the last one. 10 ace ace instead of ace 10 10. Or 10 10 ace. No, it was ace 10 10. Yeah. Yeah. Gotta give it up to LS33. He played me like a fiddle. I probably should have checked the turn. But then again, I already check raised the flop. I kind of set myself up for that. I mean, I was just kind of unlucky, but also give a lot of credit to Alice. I just realized LS limped in with ace-10 suited, so he's really tricky. Rico needs queen. No. Yeah, pretty standard fare there, getting it in with those hands. This is not a PKO, so I don't have to attempt to eliminate the super short stack Draco with 9-5. Boy, was that ever a fast fold. Fold. I still have a decent amount of hair left, but I still lost enough that it's getting all over my desk. but I'm very happy with the way my pillow feels at night now. Like, my hair's not getting in the way of the contact with my pillow. Yeah, you don't have to be messing around with that. I still have over 100 big blinds. So by no means am I going to start playing desperately. I just got my butt kicked in one hand, but that is no reason to start playing way differently now. I got my butt kicked, but I could afford it. Like, you gotta be constantly adjusting on the fly when you play poker. They end up chopping it. Like, when you see that you're going to be playing post-flop, you got to see who you're playing post-flop against. And if you hit a flop that good, you're like, okay, well, I'm never folding because the worst that can happen to me is I lose a third of my chips and I still have 100 big blinds left. Is that a farce? Probably. It's probably not the right way to play poker. I probably could have folded there, but I was just giving such great odds, and I've seen weird bluffs in these ACR tournaments before, so I just kind of had to see it through. But I was really priced in. I probably could have checked the turn. I don't know if Alice would have checked it back, but maybe I could have just check called the rest of the way, actually. Yeah. I think that was my mistake, betting the turn. Like when Yeah, I think that was a mistake actually, because getting my check raise called should be enough of a indicator that he's got something. But I just thought it was just an ace. I didn't realize it was an ace and a 10. Oh, please don't go all in. I don't want to have to call you with Jack 4 off suit. Because you did move in with 8-7 last time, so technically... Thank you. Okay, I don't have to play this garbage hand. And with a stack that short, I pretty much have to call with any two cards. Oh, I gotta walk. Whee! I like showing my cards when I get walked. Whereas when I'm playing IRL... Nothing here. I'm playing... You know what? You get a walk too. I'm feeling nice. I don't feel like a courtesy double up. Just a courtesy walk. What's the sick thing is, Draco could have picked up like ace queen suited there, and I still would have had like a 39 or 40% chance to win. If anybody was wondering, we have 347 total entrants, 259 of which are left. You can see that part. Of course, you can expect those numbers to go up for quite a while. Over 4 hours. Ooh, wow. Nice hand, sir. Of course, when I play IRL, I tend to look at my cards only when it's my turn to act. Because that was the traditional wisdom back when I was first getting into poker. That you don't want to look at the cards, and so that other people at the table might be looking at you, and they might be getting a reaction off of you. And it might make them fold a hand they'd normally play. Whereas the counter argument to that is it just makes the game faster if everybody looks at their cards straight up, so... But at the same time, if you wait for the action to get around to you, and then you look at your cards and you have like 9-3 offsuit, it shouldn't take that long to just go like this. Just look at them, insta-fold. So it wouldn't really be holding the game up that much. The reason I say that is, if you do happen to get walked, that could be what makes it fun. Like when you literally have not even looked at your cards, so you just expose it for everybody. You're looking at your cards for the first time too. Federico with a good chance, and it works. And they both leave. I said 9-3 offsuit. I end up with 9-2 offsuit. Wow, Kepka 12 under par now. And the thing is, he's parred all of the par 3s and the par 4s, but the par 5s today, birdie, eagle, birdie, birdie. I mean, it's Brooks Koepka. That's to be expected. Sam Bennett with a birdie to get back to 5 under. Jason Day at 8 under par. Jeez. The conditions are supposed to get tough out there at some point, but Brooks Koepka's powering through it. I guess it hasn't. I guess the bad weather hasn't quite hit yet. Yeah, I didn't think that Brooks Koepka couldn't win coming into this week. I was debating whether to put him on my fantasy team or not. I went against it, but oh man, the regrets. Everybody with Koepka on their fantasy team right now is having a great time. I briefly thought about Jason Day as well. All right, bottom of my raising range under the gun. Okay. I'll take it. I haven't won much in a while, but that's okay. Lines are up, but I'm still in a relatively comfortable spot. Alex Sokol from Ukraine, welcome. Well, under no circumstances should I ever call a 2.5x raise with 10-4 offsuit. Well, if I'm heads up. Oh boy, let me take a wild guess which country this guy's from. Oh, United Kingdom. Wow, that horrible name actually isn't from the United States. Wait, no, it's like this. Like that. Yeah. brush that off my shoulders. I'm sorry, UK. I was gonna 3-bet, but I don't want to stir the pot against a bunch of people. Yeah, welcome to the table. First hand he's dealt, late reg. To be fair, it's level 6, so he should be allowed to late reg at this point. This is not egregiously late. This should be the last level late reg though. Maybe next level. Yeah, next level is gonna be like 400, 800. Yeah, next level should be the last. Okay. Jack King offsuit. No, not good enough. Go bat. Normally I wouldn't wish pocket nines on my worst enemy, but I hope he's got pocket nines right now. Oh, he doesn't. Like, I don't think you have to be necessarily a snowflake to look at that name and just groan. Even though he's not an American, he's not bringing the name of our country down even further than it already was. Like, that shouldn't matter. That's just... You shouldn't be allowed to name yourself that. Maybe there's an honest-to-God backstory there. Like, maybe he was really fat in middle school and everybody, like, called him that. And he just kind of, like, turned that around as somewhat of an inner rallying cry. I hope it's something like that. Like, an inner rallying cry to get into shape. Like, if that's the story behind it, then I guess I get it. But still, I think you could name yourself something a little bit better than that. You know, clubs is good. Sergey had the pair of jacks there the whole way, and ended up. Okay, I'm pressing the full button and sit out because my parents are home. Oh, goody! I missed nothing. I still have the 5-4. Go, Alex Sokol! Aww. 9. Interesting. Could have had a queen to go with that, or another 9. No, he definitely had something else with the 9. He's just trying to act like he was bluffing. I can see right through him. Vulgar name, you know, putting the laughing mode out there. It all just kind of meshes together to be a little troll when he's actually playing relatively solid. I think I can see right through him. What if I'm just way off? Should have played this one. I don't know anything about him. I'm glad I don't know anything about him. If I did know him, then I'd have a problem. Ew. Cuervo Blanco. On the leaderboard again. PBF Dave, who can't even spell poker, is in second place now. There's Ipkiss, the other lunatic. It's really not uncommon for total lunatics who have no idea what they're doing to be among the leaders early on. Because, you know, if they just keep getting lucky over and over again, then that's just going to encourage them to keep them playing like complete madmen. But eventually it'll catch up to them. Ooh! That is an extremely nice hand. I'm folding up a storm. But I still got 75 big blinds. That would have been a nice slot for me. You don't have somebody completely running away from the field like we had by this time in the 660 tournament. Ooh. That's worthy of playing out of the big blind as long as it's not too expensive. That's very reasonable. You airball that hard, you might as well just give it up. Especially against the guy who's trapped you before. He's 10. I'll show. If they show, I show. Phil Mickelson always seems to turn it on at the Masters. He's had 3 birdies today. And a double bogey. But 3 birdies. 2.5x. I'm on the button. Let's see if I can get lucky. I've been very patient. I've been folding a lot of hands. I thought he might do that. It's a really good squeezing spot, and I've got 8 high. You win. Can't call with 8 high. Good bet, Sergey. Okay. 2 out of 3. Keep me afloat there. All pre-flop. Jack 10. And here's where we try to balance our range. Jack 10's absolutely playable, but let's go back to playing tight. We don't want to suddenly start playing a bunch of hands, and we don't totally have to right now. Yeah, this should be the end of late reg, but it's not. Late reg has barely begun. Like, there's just no world where allowing you to late reg any later than this is really that good of an idea. That's a vast overshove. Sergey is... He may be a short stack at this table, but he does not need to be going all in right now. Rory McIlroy is now 4 over, which makes him 16 behind Rook's Koepka. So, yeah, he's just going to be scrambling to try and make the cut now. How many times are they going to deal with ace-10 offsuit under the gun? Seriously, this is getting ridiculous. In fact, I'm just getting bad feelings from it. This guy is Sheffield with a double bogey. And the 2 under now. Coxswain has stayed at the chip lead for a while now, but not by a ton. Ooh. Phil Mickelson's at the 3 under now. All right. He's not even hitting half of the greens in regulation, and he's somehow 2 under par on his round. Spieth with a birdie. And he's 2 under par with only hitting 4 out of 8 greens, too. Kepka's still good. He's still 12 under. All right, so 0-1. How well? Jason Day, 9 under par. Sam Bennett, 6 under par. Sam Burns and Cameron Young are 5 under. Morikawa, 5 under. This may be the most I've ever folded in a poker tournament. My voluntary hand percentage is probably about what 14, 15, 16 right now. I'm not even really complaining about doing that. That's just what I'm doing. Lithuania versus Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan wins. Pretty poor table. I'm sure I'm going to get moved to a table with much bigger chip stacks soon. Okay, little donk bet here. Can't hurt too much. Maybe it can. But I caught a piece of it. Okay, I'm going to lose this hand because if there's 2 people still in it on that dryable board, then my 3 is not the best hand. Somebody's got to have a 5 or an 8. And if they have an 8, then I'm drawing dead. So, we're out of here. It's a 5. Betting out there at least gave me an idea of where I might be at. Yes, I see what my hand is. I'm just seeing if I can maybe get away with a light 3-bet. Sergey's so short in the big blind. What am I thinking? Oh, no! Oh, I'm screwing up badly. Cold 4-bet. Oh! Okay. My timing was way off. Let's see what we got here. Kings against Ace-King. Kings. Sorry, bat. Reasonable hands again. An unreasonable flop if you're a Pat and Hessel fan. It's just how it breaks out sometimes. I got yaks. Not folding this. Same 3-bet, but this time I actually have it. That's a good flop for jacks. $4,700. Jacob E. United States, welcome. Not folding to that flop. There we go. No reason to hide now. Well, I guess I'm just really lucky. Ace-10 yet again. Let's see. I'm probably ahead of his all-in range immediately after losing that big pot. Let's see if I can finish him off here. Oh, never mind. Oh! Got lucky twice. And that's why you keep folding. It just takes a couple of hands. AKQ, United States, welcome. Oh, Coxswain's finally in second place now. Luckbox John Key. Oh, that's a calling spot. Okay. Actually, you know what? I got some backdoors. That's a C bet. If I try and push him off here, even if he calls, I have a chance to develop something here. But I get what I want. Nope. nice. Of course he has a nut flush draw. He didn't hit it. Sergey. Finally putting a small dent into Mr. Vulgar. And now I can go right back to just folding most of my hands again. It's pretty short, so that's an okay all in. Fair. Probably chop, though. Yep. Everyone loves a chop pot. Sergey is getting back into the game. I'm gonna fold. Thought about playing it, but Sergey is certainly in the mood to mix it up and get it all in, so I'm gonna wait for him to either double up or get knocked out before I start playing weird hands. I feel like I am getting a bit more comfortable when I play these poker tournaments, No Limit Hold'em especially. I'm getting a bit more comfortable. I'm getting a bit more into the game, even though I'm not entirely into the game because I'm watching Masters as well. But the more reps I get, the more confident I feel that maybe I can break through one of these times. Maybe. Like I've gotten plenty of reps from replay poker, but again, that's only somewhat of a substitute for playing for real money. But now I have plenty of reps playing for real money. I could probably just fold my way into the next break because... Oh yeah, call. A raise call. Yeah, I don't want to be messing around here. Okay, the next break is 4 minutes from now. Scott. I keep forgetting that Adam Scott's still good at golf. He shot 68 yesterday. He has not teed off yet. Weak case under the gun? No, thank you. Only if I'm really in the mood to mix it up. I feel like the overall atmosphere at a $1.10 tournament is like they care a little bit less if the next pot happens to be their last. So I think the best way to take advantage of it is to play relatively tight. And just know that the spot doesn't have to be like with the stone cold nuts. It can just be with a really good hand. It's kind of funny how I've only really been in two spots in this tournament, either around the starting stack or over 100,000 and significantly over chip average, but nowhere in between. I need to like lose a medium-sized pot and get down to 95,000. That's something. Maybe I'll lose my pot with this. I had to say that. I freaking had to say that. I've been self-fulfilling my prophecies for ages now. I don't have much, but he's been shoving around quite often, hasn't he? Alright. Let's see what he's got. He's got aces again. Oh, I'm gonna feel a little bit bad if I win this hand. No, okay. He wins. Well, I called it again. I got a better hand now. So many players to beat. And I completely whiffed it. I was thinking of making a 3-bet to 7250, but I'm not going to thin the entire field if I do that. In fact, the only thing I'm really going to end up doing is inflating the pot. When you get more than two people already invested in a hand, it sort of becomes like Omaha rules pre-flop. All right. Well, not the best way to head to break, but I still have a good stack, so life could be worse. Brooks Koepka finishes with a bogey-free 67. 12 under par overall. Jason Day's 9 under. Sam Bennett is 6 under par. And that boy is looking like he's been here for 20 years. Who was that amateur who took the lead briefly on day 2 in 2021 again? Was that Andy Ogletree or is that somebody else? Can't remember who it was, but there was an amateur who was leading the tournament on day 2 just 2 years ago. And they ended up like finishing almost last place out of all those who made the cut, but at least you can say he led the Masters. Kind of an icky hand to play here. And the fact that Koepka got to get his round in before the bad weather, that's a huge advantage. Not to take anything away from how insanely well he's playing. Jason Day as well. Okay, really? The guy in the big blind has 41 big blinds behind. You're just gonna go all in. Oh, my Masters fantasy team is at least going to be ahead of anybody who has Rory on their fantasy team. Well, if they do have Rory and they don't have Brooks, I'm ahead of them. Kepka can pretty much carry their fantasy team at this point. But full Smell raise. Brooks Kepka's always coming in with confidence. Hmm. Dear. Cool. There's Enojado on the leaderboard. If I remember correctly, Enojado was Russian as well, even though that's the Spanish word for angry. Oh, man, that Lithuanian Wi-Fi is not working so well. To be fair, Lithuania is a very sparsely populated country. Unless, of course, Sergei is in Vilnius. Like, outside of Vilnius, it's a pretty sparsely populated country. It just keeps popping in and out, like, man. The robots are just taunting this guy. I feel for him. They keep giving him 3 seconds to make a decision, and then they're out again, and then 3 more seconds to make a decision, and then they're out again. Like, how do you get your bearings in time for that? Robots suck. Just that's all there is to it. Robots suck. Now the good news is, I don't know if this is good news or not, but like, since I'm recording myself via OBS, if power or internet does go out for me, then you guys will actually see it. I can keep recording through it, but you'll actually see how long it was out for me. So you'll know that, none of this was BS whatsoever. You have a total of 535 players now. Well, entrants. They're not all players anymore, obviously. Suddenly, we have only 4 people at the table. Here come more late reggers, I guess. I don't know why half of us went away and half of us are still here. You'd think the whole table would break. It's a very wet board. If he keeps it up, I couldn't assume he has a piece of it. Okay. I'm happy to take that one down, obviously. It's a very wet board. Where's... There we go. Well, they're not late reggers because they actually have numbers besides just 50,000. Alright. Base God 23, United States. Welcome. Afghani Pro, Russia. Welcome. Lord 666, Belarus. Welcome. Oh, interesting. The happy wrestler actually has broken teeth. The one who's asking for peace does not have broken teeth. Panda 191, there's a big stack. From Russia, welcome. I have nothing. Nine two. 9-2 would have been all over that. Lyme's disease. Lyme's disease. What a thing to name yourself. I mean, it's better than the guy who was next to me, though. Circuit Juice doing pretty well for himself as a short stack. It's really not really a short stack anymore at 45k. Well under the average, but he's not short. Let's fold, I'll play. 3x? No, thank you. Ooh, double bogey for Jason Day. 7 under par, though. Still good, but that's going to hurt. Kepka being a 12 under. I'm okay with folding most of my hands. I really am. I've got enough chips that I can keep hanging around and not have to put myself in the line of fire all that often. Let's go, Jordan Spieth. Are they going to deal me ace-10 every single time I'm in the big blind? This is absolutely ridiculous. I'll play it this time. Every time I'm in the big blind, I get ace-10. It's so ridiculous. The robots are just doing this on purpose at this point. I missed. Oh well, I missed. I could represent ace-queen, though. Maybe. I just don't want to screw around when there's two people who called my bet. I could make it work, but one of them could have a queen. And if so, my bet's not going to work. I was 3 cards out there, and I have 2 red cards. Started out with a nice hand, and I've got nothing now. You guys can take it from me. I'm not playing at this. Pocket Fives works. Probably wasn't going to shed him on that flop. Maybe I could have shed him at some point in the hand. Reaction on the button makes sense. I'm going to fold my big blind now. Ace 9 in the small blind. The big blind's the only guy at the table that has me covered. Might be a little bit of a fish move to just call here, but I certainly don't want to see Panda. You do that, yeah. But now at least I can fold. Yep. You just call with... Oh, gut shot and 2 overs, I guess, isn't the worst call in the universe. I would have given it some more thought, though. I was wondering how Cam Smith did. I kept hearing about his chances before the tournament. I didn't hear anything about his round. He shot 70, so he's fine. On day 1, that is. He has not started his day 2 yet. Jack 9. 2.5x. I'll keep waiting. Ludovrik. Russia, welcome. Fold. Justin Thomas starting his round. Thomas also shot 70 on day 1. Body count, what a name. I'm not going to 3-bet with 6-7. I was going to raise myself if everybody folded to me. Lyme's disease is chip leader. I got a second chance at this hand. If I can follow the pattern of this tournament so far and just like keep going really quiet, really quiet, really quiet, and then boom, then I actually like my chances. Right, hopefully, I can just represent that ace. Or not. Sergey is not to be trifled with. He's pretty good. Charlie Lloyd joining the master's desk with Scott Van Pelt. They're up. I'm starting to get to the point where I would like to try and get some more chips. Okay. I'm recording at least for 2 hours and 23 minutes, which, considering the fact that I lost a quarter of my stack on like one of the very first hands, I'd say I'm doing pretty well for myself. I'm beginning to A, expect failure. Ooh. And B, just start to enjoy myself a little bit more and just I'm starting to take the end result out of the equation and just try to enjoy it when I play well and run well. Certainly call min raise with 8-7. That's not what I was looking for. I can be with a 10 though. That's a small bet. Hmm. You You're not exactly brimming with confidence, but I have 8 high. Plus, I've been wrong before about my feel, so let's just try not to to completely blow it like that. Aaron Rodgers says he can't hurt somebody in a Super Bowl. It's football. You can hurt somebody at any given moment. And I'm just like reacting to something you guys have absolutely no context for, unless you happen to be watching. I can't even say that because you're not gonna remember every tiny detail of the ESPN Sports Center at the Masters desk, because I'm not live streaming this at all. I'm just recording this. If you can remember what was said at 1:24 p.m. on ESPN on April 7th, 2023, then you have a terrifying memory, and I hope to God I never have to play poker against you. That's my say, JT. Ooh, Phil Mickelson got another birdie. Shot 69 today. 4 under par overall. Way to go, Phil. He's easily going to make the cut. Joaquin Neiman also 4 under par. They're actually tied for 9th. Like, forget the cut. They're kind of in contention. They're going to need help from Brooks Koepka on day 3, though. Justin Rose is still 4 under. That guy's Xander. I still got Aztec fever after their incredible run in the March Madness. So Xander is my man. Spieth back to 500. Good. He's also on my fantasy team. Sigurd just is about to have more chips than me. I can't really comfortably 3-bet anymore because we're now at the point where if I 3-bet, it's going to become pump it or dump it, and I don't want to put in whatever 8,100 and then fold to an all-in of 32,000. Well, I would have had to fold. I certainly would have had to fold to it. I'm okay with that. Ooh, Larry Fitzgerald's next. Joaquin on the 16th hole. Sam Bennett just made another birdie. That young boy is 7 under par. Could play, but I won't. I guess I'm not that thirsty for action. Wink. A lot of the players are saying are saying that you got to run good to win the Masters. I see Lyme's disease is still #1, but it's really a close game. We have 597 entrants now. I can wait for a better spot than that. Sam Bennett is tied for second place. Jason Day's back to 6 under. I'd actually never heard of him, even though he's won the U.S. Amateur, because when he won the U.S. Amateur, I was in the process of moving, and I didn't have a TV to watch or do anything really. So I had never heard of him until right now. He's tied for second at the Masters, late on day 2. I have just enough to be able to call him in raise. Just enough. I guess I'm not that thirsty for action. Just looking for a better flop than that. A lot of back doors, but again, you don't chase back doors. Now this one, I actually have a chance to maybe pull something off here. I would like everybody to fold. If he calls, I might hit a set. It's not pump it or dump it with him. Just call, and I miss. Now, if he happens to have ace-queen, I can bet here and take it. Well, okay, now the hand is his. That's a big loss for me. But he's got to have a king. Worth a try. I'm not desperate for a double up, but I'm certainly looking for one. How many ace-10s am I going to get? I mean, I'm not under the gun at least, but seriously, how many ace-10s can I possibly get dealt in this tournament? Tom and Kenny, the people who update the scoreboards at the Masters. They just happen to be named Tom and Kenny. So combined, they are SpongeBob. No Sponge up to this table. No aliens either. Oh, they actually still make you put your phones away at the Masters, apparently. Of course, that's what happens when you have a place that's like so implanted in gentlemanly culture. That's the national. They expect everybody to act like your grandpa always did. They expect everybody to act like your grandpa at like a dean meeting. Meeting with the dean, you know? That's just not something I'm capable of doing. I got Asperger's syndrome, okay? I mean, I don't think everybody should be allowed to be too loose out there, but pair versus pair, Ludovic just getting really short there. My favorite hand. And I hope it works for me, because I'm getting a little low here with the blinds going up. Or is that... Yeah, I don't want everybody to be too loose. I mean, you saw my reaction to that awful username a little earlier. I stand by that. But at the same time, like, over insistence on gentlemanly behavior can be BS as well. Like, people are allowed to have personality. It is what makes them a person. You know, let them express themselves a little. Well, easy fold. Player 7786, welcome, United States. I was hoping to have a flop I could push with. That's not obviously not it, but hey, if King 10 misses, then easy fold. Another good reason to like it. 6-4 of clubs used to be my favorite hand. That'd be a hand to push with. Oh, they had to give me the 10 of hearts. Like, is that not the most tantalizing card in the entire deck? It possibly the worst. It completes a flush. 8-9 beats me, and are you kidding me? What is this run out? Oh, thank God he checked. Oh, I have 80,000 exactly. Here's Larry Fitzgerald. So glad I won that hand. I can count on my best friend, King 10. A little bit of a boost. I'm still not exactly super comfortable, but I got 49 big blinds. I still have more than Sega Juice. But maybe not for long. All he has to do is double up once. I got my king 10 again, but it's offsuit. I can win with king 10. I cannot win with 2 9s. I'm surprised I haven't been dealt 2 9s already. Look at the average stack. 3 9s and 2 7s. Yeah, I'll play king 10 for a min raise for sure. Panda hasn't been too reckless. I can skip this one. Hovland off to a good start. Sam Bennett. Oh, looking for a little more spin than he got. Oh, no, it's turning out okay. Dustin Johnson's at even. Big pot. Slightly bigger than normal because I'm on the button. You know what? Most of my C bets have just not been getting through, so I'm just going to go ahead and let this one go. I do have a gut shot now. If I can see my gut shot for free, I'd be more than happy with that. That's too much. Two aces. Maybe it's a good thing that I lost that last hand. Might look a little more desperate here. 3x. Ooh. Yeah, I'll take that. 12-9. If the flop is uncoordinated, I'm just going to push on it. Oh, never mind. Understandable. I'm just going to avoid bad luck. You know, I would have been owed a bad beat to be perfectly fair. I've gotten pretty lucky in some of these spots. But look at that. We have continued the pattern in this tournament. Laying low and then suddenly getting a big one. Double up to 149,000. And I can even raise the next hand, and these guys ought to look at the guy who just doubled up with aces. Now he's raising the next hand. Although he's kind of getting a little short. Let's see if I can... Got an 8 at least. Nice. Okay, you win. Another thing about poker, you can't look at the chips that all the leaders are having and get discouraged. We have 649 entries. We have 321 remaining. You know, as long as you still have plenty of big blinds, you're okay. And we have exactly half the starting field left, as you can see by the average. I'm over the average. Sure, there's people out there with way more than me, but I am absolutely fine right now. And AKQ really with nothing they could do with that spot. Queens, you got to roll with queens, especially at a $1.10 buy-in. Well, so we're continuing the pattern. Win a really big pot, and then we can just lay low. Can I expect this to be sustainable? Probably not, but you know, we can say with all honesty and fairness, so far so good. Bennett with another birdie at 14. Sam Bennett, second place all by himself. 4 under par yesterday, 4 under par today. And with a par 5 coming up. Hey, there's Brooks Koepka. Brooks Koepka himself is very impressed. How much time is there for a late reg? We still got 163. I shouldn't have looked. Street. There you go, AKQ. You're right back in it. All right. With my apologies to Chris Ferguson, I am going to play this one. These aren't small pseudoconnectors. They're, medium pseudoconnectors. Cool by me. I'm only really upset to win a pot pre-flop if I have, like, pocket queens, kings, or aces. Of course, last time I had aces, I did a whole lot more than the blinds and antes. I feel like I'm owed a bad beat. Okay. Wee. I got chips. Got 40,000 more than the average. I won't punish you. Panda might. It's not too reckless. Oh, new table. Ooh, we gotta mind our P's and Q's here, that's for sure. HJ True, Russia. Wild SF, Belarus. Kanuch 0604, Ukraine. Dukagiva, Colombia. Tazep S, Brazil. And Weger 777, Russia. Maybe it's supposed to say wager, but I didn't know how to spell it. Silent Poker, United States. Welcome. Sounds like it could be a streamer, but he's not because they indicated they're a streamer. Oh, and the button skips over there. Aren't I lucky? I don't have to play this garbage. I thought I was gonna be the big blind next stand, but oh, I got a ways to go. Seems like Brooks Koepka hasn't changed much. He's still ready to destroy a major championship. He's still well-spoken and confident. And he admits to being a luck box with the tee times. Blinds are up again. YMCA is first player to 500,000. Aces again. I have no plans on still playing this. Alright. I'm owed a bad beat. It doesn't look like it's going to happen here, though. Double up! 288,000! You're the one who overplayed Ace King. Well, I certainly can't complain about luck for a while now. I just doubled up twice with aces in like the last 16 minutes. I've got a huge stack now. $159 big blinds. I'm good now. I'm on cruise control. Kind of tempted to just stop the video here because we're on the break, and I'm clearly got a lot of game left. Maybe next one. If I make it to the next break, with a really strong stack, then I will stop the video there and make this a two-parter. I'm excited. Should I be excited, or am I just gonna blow it all again? Let's find out. Lift kid bars. I was actually kind of tempted to just straight up grab some fast food, press the sit out button, because I'll still be coming back to a big stack no matter what. Unless the line is really, really long. But I don't have the car with me. So that's not going to happen. Greedy Bullet 12, United States, welcome. Not bad. I was going to raise, but I'll just call. Not bad. Hit to go. Russia, welcome. What's up? Okay. I mean, I'm going to check for bot control here. Not going anywhere yet, though. Okay, what is going on here? AFK. I've been there before, man. If it went AFK and pressed it out and it didn't just automatically, you can leave, I am sorry. Because I was there last time. Yes, it does suck. It really, really sucks. Bill Nicholson. Well, I'm ahead of Coxswain. Pet by DJ. He's at 2 under par now. McElroy. Oh, that was Scotty. Nike guys. Yeah, McElroy's pretty much dead right now. Ooh, Corey Connors. Okay, my fantasy team sucks. Doing this mostly because the big blind is AFK. Oh, we have payphones. Keith Mitchell mic'd up at the range. And those guys look so tiny from where I'm at. I could play this hand, but I won't. The big blind is the only player that could really do a lot of damage to me. And again, when I make my disciplined decisions, it seems like I'm rewarded by seeing flops that wouldn't have hit. I couldn't even finish the sentence. Those of you who followed me for a long time now on Twitch, you know that I do that all the time. Oh, he had Jack Knight too. Better hand though. Big raise, but I got a hand to defend here. I want to see the next card. I'm glad I can see it for free. Okay, that's a bad card. It's been checked. Or you don't even have to. Can't say I believe you. I should have raised more. Nope, it worked. I got nothing, and my read was correct that time. Alright. They said that they were going to bring some heavy stuff back from the store, so I'm going to go ahead and fold, press it out. Thank you for actually functioning. And I'll be right back. With a ton of chips. Ooh, that's a good hand. I think with my stack, my C-bets are going to have more success than they normally would. Just everything is working for me right now. I got almost 3 times the average stack. And now I'm going to actually fold this. You know, I'm balancing my range again. My queen jack would be the nuts right now. But I'm not going to complain about a hand I could have won when I've already been winning as much as I have. Okay. I call. Got him dominated. I will accept the bad beat here. Nope, I'm just running real pure. Wow. I'm in 5th place now. A cave glowworm, United States, welcome. My heart's beating a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I have so many chips. I don't think I have ever had this many chips in relation to the average stack at Replay Poker, ever. Ryan Fitzpatrick! Oh, Jason Day reverted all the way back to 5 under. Oh, they don't even want to raise against me because I'm big blind. Oh, never mind, they do. It's okay, guys. I'm not going to bite with 3-10 offsuit. Jacks here too. This is just getting insane. If Wigger folds, I'm gonna go all in because it's gonna look like I'm just bullying the small blind. Even Wigger can't hurt me too much at this point. She's only got about a third as many chips as I do. Just picking up some cards. Whew, 375,000. Thank you. I think this is the most bulletproof I've ever felt playing poker, but I know better. I know I've never gotten past late reg. What, for me to get past late reg in a 20 level thing, I still have so long to go. Interesting flop. Well, I'm just happy. I feel like I'm finally proving myself that, like, yes, actually, I do know what I'm doing. I think I did a really good job in the last one as well. But, like, finally, I'm actually getting, you know, big stacks at a fairly consistent rate. Am I guaranteed to make money from here? No. Not yet. But at the very least, I'm validating the fact that I'm recording myself. I'm validating that I'm actually worth watching because I can actually play poker, believe it or not. Russell Henley. Forgot about him. He's 3 under par. Max Homa with a pretty good recovery from a really crappy start yesterday. He's 2 under par overall. Hovland is 7 under par, even through 5 holes today. What do I even say? I'm just picking up big hands, and they're holding. Not going to show. But I'm just, I just keep winning. Are you serious right now? Queens? And again, very worst case scenario, I still have over 250k. The worst thing that could possibly happen to me in this hand is I have twice the chip average. This is definitely the most bulletproof I've ever been in poker. I still haven't run into pocket nines. I know once I run into pocket nines, the poop's gonna hit the fan. Alright, I may very well be over 400k by the end of this hand. I just have it all the time. I don't know, man. Call. Look how clean that run out is. Oh, he's got a chance. He needs another 10 though. Boom. Wow. 428,000. Oh, he rebought. I have 4 times the chip average. Can't play. I'm gonna check calm mode here. I'm certainly not scared of anything. I have it every time. I don't know what to say. I have it every time, and I got 4 times the chip average. I'm second now. Holy crap. I'm not going to let the fact that I'm second get to me, though. I'm not going to, you know, reach and try and get that little extra bit so I can call myself chip leader. I mean, look at me versus the rest of my table. Really? You rebought for this? Wow! You rebought for that. Interesting. Might as well just go all in every hand if they're going to play King 5 like that. Best part is, I don't have to play around with you. I don't have to. I have an absolute buttload of chips. I'm not even going to play these threes. Because the best I could possibly hope for is a coin flip, and I've got two really short stacks up there. Although the way I'm running, I wouldn't be shocked if I raised and then Kanuk went all in with twos. But nope, see? There's a 3! Oh my god, I would have had him drawing dead. The robots want me to win this really badly, apparently. I have to remain grounded here. Brunette's Brazil, welcome. Oh. Wow, I finally missed one. Seven wins it for me. That's a min bet. I'm gonna call for a gut shot if you're gonna bet that small. No, not this time. However, I can always steal it. Maybe. Stole it! I don't have to have the cards. $450K. Ooh. Alright, yeah, we're definitely stopping the video as soon as the next break happens. We're making this a two-parter. I'm gonna get moved to a new table any second now. There's gonna be somebody there with much more than 122K. Got over 200 big blinds this late in the tournament. This is unbelievable. They just moved the biggest stack at the table except me. Oh my god. Ooh, nice one, Tiger. It just feels like the robots are going out of their way to help me win this one. I have no interest in this one. You can take it, honestly. I know you don't want to, but you can have it. Never mind, you just let me hit a pair. Yeah. If you bet half pot, I might go with it. Yeah. I really don't need to be just spewing out and giving away gifts like that. Blue Genie. I think I've seen this one before. United States. I don't think I saw them at a free roll though, so I wouldn't have recorded them. Greedy Bull is almost all in, so that makes it really easy for me. I am literally the only player at this table over chip average. Couple of eights. Okay. Tens. Then make it 3x. Because he limped in. Big to the bank. United States. Welcome. I don't like that card. But I am going to keep betting. Now I can just check it back. I'm so close to Lyme's disease. I'm so close to being the chip leader in the entire room. Hundred 17 minutes to lay reg. Hovland's down to 6 under. Dustin Johnson made a late bogey to finish with 72, 1 under par, but it's still good enough to make the cut. The cut right now is projected at 2 over. $5,000. LBCL 86. Welcome. Brazil. I'm invincible. I'm chip leader. I did it. I'm actually the chip leader of a tournament here. 478,000. I've never done this before. Actually, wait, I have been chip leader before in that stud high-low game that I was just testing out for the heck of it. But that's a limit game. It's a little bit easier to get a chip lead when you're in fixed limit. Male 31, United States, welcome. I can only imagine that raccoon avatar was inspired by Qui Win, winning a world championship in a rocket raccoon hat. Who just hit that shot? He was so disappointed with it. He thought it was going to go into the bunker, but it's on the green, totally fine. Is that Sam Bennett again? Because if so, my God, he's running good. Ace Jack. Okay, this guy is a bit of a live wire. Oh, Tiger didn't make his birdie at 6. I think that was Bennett who hit that shot. Either Bennett or Scheffler. Okay, Corey Connors just shot 78, and he's going to miss the cut by 6 strokes. Okay. Should not have had him on my fantasy team. Blue Genius all in, I think I'm still calling. Okay. I'm just going to call because this guy's a bit crazy. I have enough that I could call one bet. Yeah, I call. Alright, I'm still going to exercise pot control. But obviously that's a very good card for me. Good check back. I'm over $500,000. Don't have to play this. It's taken me forever to get pocket 9s in this one. Like, as soon as I got pocket 9s in the last one, that's when the poop hit the fan, and pocket nines are the harbinger of destruction. My mouth is a scary weapon sometimes. As long as those pocket nines aren't in front of me, I'm okay. Criella. I've played with Criella in this tournament. She's ship leader now. That's a pretty good flop for Mel. Oh, Netigo has a slight chance. Nah. Lines are up. I don't know who K.H. Lee is, but he's shot a 67 today. Ooh, Shane Lowry's doing pretty well, 5 under par. Hideki Matsuyama is 2 under. Oh, NLY666, Russia, welcome. I'm third now. That's okay. I was chip leader for a short time there, and, as long as I'm still this far over the chip average, I cannot complain. They just keep giving me cards. I can afford losing 100K. Okay, that's scary. Done. The way that Silent Poker just flat called there, he might have like pocket 7s or 8s. Tazep's S. I don't know what they have, but that's really not the kind of flop that I could push on. I have the 2 big cards, and I'm up against 2 different players. So chances are one or both of them has a pocket pair, and they're not going to fold to that flop. I'm unlikely to be up against big cards and big cards. One of them probably has a pair, so let's just cut losses there. I still have an absolute crap load of chips. Suited ace. Tiger Woods. Wow. Just wow. Could've. That's what I was waiting for. We also don't want to see the board pair. Maybe I could have just called. I just felt like if I waited and the board paired on the turn, maybe that would set up for the start of the decline. So I'd rather just That was Sam Bennett who thought he was going in the bunker. Whoa, hold on now. He overplayed his birdie putt. He's got a long par putt, but if he makes that, it's another 68. 20 feet now is a 200 par. I mean, I'm already pretty much giving up on my fantasy team. I know I'm gonna have to replace Corey Connors because you're allowed to replace players if they miss the cut. Question is, who am I going to do that with? Hovland, maybe? Because he's my international category. I can replace the international with Hovland. Morikawa 69 yesterday, 69 today. Joaquin Neiman 69 today, 71 yesterday. But the thing is, at the halfway point of a golf tournament, it's much like here, where like if where you can't be discouraged if the chip leader is just way out in front. Like as long as you're playing well and you're doing much better than the average player, then you're still in with a chance, and you should have your game face on the next day. Of course, for me, I really am that far ahead of everybody else right now. I cannot believe that I have not been kicked off this table and I'm up against, a 350k stack right now. The robots are just going out of their way to make this as easy as possible for me. I can just kind of calmly make my way into the next break and then break the video off. I just hope there's enough space on the hard drive for this. I mean, if I'm going to really be going this far into the tournament, I think there's space, but I better get rid of that poker video backlog over the next couple of days, because this one might take a while. Certainly hope it does. I think I could fold my way into the money from here. I'm not going to. But I truly think I can actually fold my way into the money now. I didn't think I was going to top my performance in the last one for a little while. But turns out that little while is just 2 days. It's 2 days of real time. Of course, my poker videos are kind of backlogged, so it might end up only being 1 day for you guys. Anybody else raises, I'm out of here. If nobody raises, I'll play. I forgot people limp in. I guess I'll limp in too. Ooh, Scotty Scheffler with a 75 today. I don't have to bluff every time. I don't want to lose credibility. Like, it's one thing to just have 510,000 and just be scary, but to be scary and credible, now that's a hell of a combination. Tiger buoyed 7. He's on his way to missing the cut, it looks like. I really have no interest in the spot. Somebody just said very aggressive of Tiger Woods to be wearing white pants with so much rain in the forecast. It's been Thomas. Harold Warner the third, 1 under par through 2 rounds. Gary Woodland's 4 under through 2 rounds. Cameron Young doing all right, 5 under par right now. A lot of day 2 to go though. Bennett made the par putt. Sam Bennett starts out 68-68, which has to be the greatest start in Masters history for an amateur. It has to be. I don't think any of the other amateurs are even going to make the cut, and this guy's at 8 under par. All right, one more hand, then it's a break, and I can skip this one. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. It's amazing to say that and still have chips. You can watch the rest of this hand play out first, of course. Sometimes everything clicks together. Getting a lot of really good cards, not screwing them up, and taking the odd stab with nothing here and there, and most of them are working. I think the takeaway from this video is poker is a pretty streaky game. If you keep winning those hands with actual good cards, then you have the license to just keep on going. Within reason, of course. You don't want to become too predictable. But you have the license to keep on going because people just aren't going to want to mess with you. And here we are, 510,000 chips. 4 hours into Hi5 event number 62. Here we go.